I was in Shreveport this weekend to engage with the Guatemalan Consulate. It was a meeting at the United Methodist Church. Me, along with 50 other volunteers and over 600 Guatemaltecos who are here to get their paperwork in order. The Christian community here certainly are doing their part to keep the flame of freedom burning bright.
Yes, we have the Guatemalan Consulate here in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we are assisting Guatemalans with their passports and IDs, consular IDs, and I'm one of the organizers, and we're helping 600 Guatemalans this weekend. And we have 600 appointments, and about 90% have showed up already. So that's what we're doing.
How does it make you feel when you see the families and young people arriving with such promise?
Yes, well, they make a huge effort to get here to the U.S., traveling not only their own country, but through Mexico, and finally get here to the United States, and then they go different ways. Like, for example, we have people that live in New Orleans, and they travel to Shreveport today, and some from Arkansas, and here all of Northwest Louisiana, and some from Texas. And so they're going wherever the consulate is serving them, because it's such a great need, for people to get their documents, their identifications, to renew their passports and their consular IDs.
In contrast to the chaos at the border, things here are so orderly. There's so much good grace and decorum. How, in your mind, do you perceive the contrast of all the flux and disorder at the border compared to the good grace and orderliness that I've encountered here today?
Well, what happens is that when there's an order established, when there's a process, for people to go through, as opposed to chaos, where people are not informed of what to do. Like, there are some people that can seek asylum, and they can go straight to the door, we can say, and start the process. But then it takes so long for people to do that, or they do not know how to do it. So when there's a process like the one we're doing here, like they log online, they make an appointment, and they tell them what documents they need to get their passport or renew their passport, how much it is, and when to get here. So that's an established order, and people can follow those instructions. But at the border is chaos, because there's so much misinformation, and it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous at the border, because there are smugglers, cartels, and people go through so much suffering, coming to the United States. But when there's order, then everything's supposed to go smooth.
There are administrative organizations of humanist or humanitarian nature, but I've noticed most of the volunteers I've encountered today are from the faith community.
Yes.
How do you contrast those different approaches, the secular and bureaucratic compared to the Christian?
Well, Christians are encouraged to welcome their neighbors, to welcome those who are less fortunate and help them. And that is something that I'm paying a lot of attention to that today, because, this is a big church, the Methodist Church here in Shreveport. And I'm guessing, that they have means to feed everyone who's been here, Everybody's getting like a sandwich, a soda, and some refreshments. And so that is very appreciative and welcoming, as opposed to other things, how people are hated sometimes, or they are called invaders, or, they're invading the country, or they call them criminals, when all they want is to support their families and have a better life for themselves and for their children, and for those who they leave behind. So I think it's very important that the church recognizes their obligation and their duty to assist anyone without asking their legal status.
All of these proceedings here are informed by faith, but it's an official process. How did you establish a rapport with the Guatemalan Consulate?
Yes, we had them before here in the area in Bossier City at Bibsy. It was not a church, Bossier Parish Community College, about a year and a half or two ago. So, you know, colleges are also interested in that. And but this time it's at this beautiful establishment. And, you know, the pastor here is not trying to push his beliefs into nobody. You know, there was a prayer when we started, you know, and people are of different beliefs or non-beliefs. So we don't care about that. We don't care about that. We just want to assist the consulate. You know, they come here with their equipment and they have made appointments, and we're just trying to assist, make sure that people have all the documents before they come into the door and they're able to get what they need.
The consular staff are paid, but of the 50 other officials here, how many of them are volunteers?
Well, I'll say probably more than half of the people that are taking a part in this process are volunteers. You know, we're putting our own money sometimes in our own efforts, you know, to assist these people. And we do it because we like people, we like helping each other. You know, like for example, I've been doing the Mexican consulate since 2001, and I lost count how many times we do it, 2 or 3 times a year. And we're in the process of maybe bringing the Honduran consulate also, because there's a lot of Hondurans in the area, and we're trying to do that as well. In the Guatemalan, this is the second time, and I think this time they're better organized, and we hope that we can do that at least once or twice a year.
Precisely my next question. One time is great. One time with 600 people is extraordinary. But if you look ahead, do you have target dates and perhaps even maybe a projection on how many more times you'll be required to meet the new residents and potentially new citizens? How many times do you think these events might be required? Are you looking ahead in that respect?
Well, here in the area, we probably need to have them at least 2 times a year. 3 would probably be better, you know. Well, it will be better, you know, but 2 I think is great. And you know, because we have people scattered throughout Louisiana coming over here. We have some people coming from New Orleans, you know, because the Guatemalan consulate, the nearest one in this area, is in Houston. So, you know, it's easier to have 15-20 people come from Houston to Shreveport than 600 people go to Houston. You know? And probably they don't have the facilities to assist 600 people, you know, in 1 day or 2 days in Houston. So you know, I think 2 times be good, 3 be even better. You know, most of the way we let people know about the event is through social media. So like I post on Facebook, you know, and Instagram when the event is going to be, where and how they can make the appointments, and also the cost, you know, so they are prepared, and how they need to pay for the services also. And so we let them know ahead of time, and the amount of appointments fill up quickly, you know. Like for example, today, Saturday, we had like 130 people outside, you know, that did not have an appointment, you know, and unfortunately we cannot help everyone, but you know, sometimes we let people in, especially if there's an emergency that they need their passport, or they have probably an immigration appointment, or they need to fly out of the country, or they need to travel and they need their documents. So we make every effort to let everyone know when these events are happening.
When can we hear from you again with respect to updates on the Mexican, Guatemalan, and perhaps Venezuelan consulate
Yeah.
activities?
Well, the approximate date that we have for the Mexican consulate is going to be in September. I do not know the exact date, but I know it's in September. And so we usually let them know like 2 or 3 weeks before that, so when they can make appointments and when the portal is open for people to go online and make the appointments.
If people wish to follow you and your updates, how can you be found on the web?
Yes, Marcial Avelar, and they find me. There's not many Marcial Avelars out there.
True that. Thank you.